The lie that took everything. I always thought betrayal would feel like a stab in the back. Sudden, sharp, obvious. But when Chloe betrayed me, it didn't feel like a stab. It felt like drowning, slow, confusing, and silent. Until one day I realized I couldn't breathe anymore. Let me tell you everything. From the beginning. Because maybe, if I lay it all out, piece by piece, it'll finally stop haunting me. I met Chloe during sophomore year at university. She wasn't loud or flashy. She wasn't the kind of girl who walked into a room and turned heads. But there was something undeniably magnetic about her. The first time I saw her, she was sitting under the big elm tree near the liberal arts building, legs crossed, reading some book with a cracked spine and underlined pages. Her long brown hair was tied up in a messy bun, strands falling into her eyes. She kept pushing them back, annoyed, but never put the book down. I passed her 3 times before I worked up the courage to say something. Me. That's a heavy book for a sunny day. She looked up. Her eyes were a ridiculous shade of gray, almost silver in the sun. Chloe, half smiling. It's a heavier world if we ignore the things in it. That should have been a red flag right there. But instead, I fell headfirst. We started talking, then studying together, then staying out late, wandering around campus in the dark, sharing stories and laughter that made my stomach hurt. She was smart, painfully smart, and sarcastic in a way that didn't push people away, but drew you in, like you wanted to win her approval just so she'd let you stay close. We officially started dating 2 months after that first conversation. And for a while, it was perfect. She'd run her fingers through my hair when I stressed out over finals. She'd draw stupid cartoons on my notebooks and slip them in when I wasn't looking. She'd say things like, "Chloe, you calm me down, Daniel. I never thought I could feel safe with someone until you." God, I believed her. I told her everything. About my parents' divorce. About how my dad walked out and never looked back. About the night I found my mom crying on the kitchen floor, whispering that she was too broken to be loved. I told her about the panic attacks I used to get in high school. About the way I always feel like I'm not good enough, like I'm one mistake away from people realizing I'm a fraud. She listened. She kissed me. She promised she wasn't going anywhere. We dated for almost a year. We even started talking about moving in together after graduation. She kept saying she didn't want to waste time pretending we weren't going to end up together anyway. Looking back now, I don't know if she ever meant a single word of it. The first crack in the glass came in the form of a guy named Zach. He was in her film studies class. Tall, overconfident, the kind of guy who always found a way to turn a group conversation into a TED Talk about his own achievements. I didn't like him. I told her that. Me, trying to be calm. I don't know. He doesn't seem like a great guy. Chloe, laughing. You jealous? That's cute. Me. I'm serious. Chloe, rolling her eyes. Relax. He's literally in a relationship. You don't have to puff your chest. She brushed it off. But he kept showing up. On her Snap stories. In group hangouts I wasn't invited to. In conversations where she'd accidentally mentioned him 5 times in 2 minutes. I started noticing changes. She stopped responding to texts as quickly. Started canceling our plans at the last minute. Became snappy, irritable, like just being around me annoyed her. The night everything started to unravel, we were supposed to have dinner at my apartment. She never showed. No text. No call. Nothing. I waited for 2 hours before finally giving up and going to bed. The next morning, she texted. Chloe text. Sorry, got caught up with a group project. My phone died. That was all. But something felt off. So I checked her Instagram. She hadn't posted anything, but one of her friends had. A story. A boomerang of Chloe at a house party. Glass in her hand. Arm around Zach's shoulder. Laughing. Looking. Happy. Comfortable. Like she belonged there. And the worst part? She wasn't wearing the necklace I gave her. She always wore it. A simple silver pendant with a tiny moon. She once said it made her feel anchored. She said it felt like me. But that night, she wasn't anchored. She looked free. The next time I saw her, I confronted her. We were in my room. She sat on the edge of the bed, arms folded. Me. You weren't doing a group project. You were at a party. Chloe, cold. So what if I was? Me. You lied to me. Chloe, shrugging. I didn't think you'd handle the truth well. Me, voice shaking. Were you with Zach? She didn't answer. Just looked away. That silence told me everything. Me, quietly. Did you sleep with him? Chloe, after a long pause. I don't think that's any of your business anymore. It felt like the floor disappeared beneath me, like every memory, every smile, every kiss, every promise had been some elaborate joke that I was too stupid to see. I remember just sitting there, numb, while she got up and started putting on her jacket. Chloe, flatly, I didn't cheat, if that's what you're asking. Not technically, but I'm done lying for your comfort. Me. You emotionally cheated for weeks, Chloe. Chloe. Maybe I did. But you're not perfect either, Daniel. You're obsessive, controlling. You overthink everything. That last part? It shattered me more than anything else. Because it was my deepest fear, my worst insecurity. And she threw it at me like a blade. She left that day, and I didn't hear from her for a week. But I heard about her. Through whispers, through posts, through silence. And I started realizing something terrifying. She wasn't just leaving me. She was redefining me. There were rumors. They started small. Whispers about me being clingy. Jokes in group chats I wasn't part of. Inside comments on posts that used to feel like home. Then it got worse. Someone told me Chloe was telling people I had rage issues. That I once punched a wall during an argument. That I was emotionally unstable. None of that was true. But truth didn't matter anymore. Her words had already taken root. I started noticing how people treated me differently. Friends who used to hug me now gave stiff nods. Classmates who once borrowed notes now avoided eye contact. Even professors seemed colder, less trusting. I wasn't paranoid. I knew what was happening. Chloe had rewritten the narrative. She made herself the victim. And she painted me as the guy who couldn't handle rejection. The most twisted part? She was good at it. She used half-truths, things I had confided in her. Like my panic attacks, my fear of abandonment, my insecurities. And twisted them into proof that I was dangerous. One day, I got called into the dean's office. Apparently, someone had anonymously reported me, accused me of stalking, of sending threatening messages. They showed me screenshots, messages I'd never sent. Photoshopped, doctored, but convincing enough to raise alarms. I felt like I was going insane. Dean, sternly, we take all reports seriously, Daniel. Me. But I didn't send those. I swear. Dean, I hope for your sake that's true. But until we investigate, you're on temporary suspension from campus housing and activities. That was it. I lost my dorm. I lost my tutoring job. I lost every place that felt safe. And Chloe? She kept posting stories of herself and Zach, kissing in cars, laughing at bars, smiling like she hadn't just destroyed someone's life. I tried to confront her again. I messaged her. Me text. Why are you doing this to me? She left me on read. 2 days later, I got a message from the campus safety board. She had filed a restraining order. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I stayed on my friend Ben's couch, trying to stay under the radar. I kept thinking, how did I get here? How did the girl I loved turn me into a villain in her story? The worst part wasn't that she left me. It was that she made me unrecognizable to everyone I knew, including myself. One night, I got drunk and wrote her a letter. A real one. I never sent it, but I'll tell you what it said. Dear Chloe, you didn't just break my heart. You broke me. You took the parts of me I trusted you with, the fragile ones, and you shattered them in front of a crowd. You told me I was safe with you. Then you weaponized my pain. I hope you sleep well knowing that while you're out laughing with Zach, I'm here trying to remember what it feels like to be human. I didn't deserve this. I loved you with everything I had. And you turned me into a ghost. You lied. And your lie took everything. That was the last time I let myself write to her. Because even letters started to feel like chains. By the end of the semester, my name was a joke. People whispered when I walked by. Someone spray-painted psycho on my locker. Another time, I heard someone snicker. Girl, whispering. That's him. Chloe's ex. The one who snapped. And I realized something. The truth didn't matter. Not here. Not anymore. All that mattered was the story Chloe told first. And everyone believed it. The real betrayal wasn't the cheating. It wasn't even the lies. It was the erasure. She erased me and replaced me with a monster. And no one, not even my closest friends, stood up for me. Because when a pretty girl cries, people listen. When a broken boy begs for truth, people look away. After winter break, I didn't return to campus. I couldn't. There was no point, no safe space left, no trust left, no version of me left that felt real. I moved back home. My parents didn't ask questions. They saw the weight in my eyes and knew not to push. I was just their son again, not the broken accusation I'd become. But the worst thing about trauma isn't the moments that break you. It's the silence that follows. The long, hollow stretch of days where nothing happens, and yet the pain doesn't stop. You expect heartbreak to scream. Instead, it whispers. Constantly. Relentlessly. I stopped checking social media. Deleted all the apps. Blocked Chloe and everyone remotely connected to her. But pain has a way of sneaking through even the thickest walls. One afternoon, Ben sent me a screenshot. A TikTok. Over 300,000 views. The title? Story time, when I dated a narcissist. It was Chloe, telling the world her version. Talking about a controlling boyfriend who gaslit her, who would scream at her over small things, who threatened to hurt himself to make her stay. Every sentence felt like a bullet. Every pause for sympathy made my hands shake. She wasn't just smearing my name anymore. She was monetizing it. I watched in horror as the comments poured in. Echo glow. Been there, girl. So proud of you for leaving that toxicity. At safe haven queen. File the restraining order. No man is worth your piece nail polish. At trauma hunter. I hope he rots. These men are manipulative AF. I was being crucified in real time. And the worst part? She smiled the entire video. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see her face, not the Chloe I loved, but the one from that TikTok. Calm, collected, cruel. I started therapy. My first session, I could barely speak. Therapist, gently. What made you come here today? Me. Someone turned me into a villain. And everyone believed it. I don't know how to prove I exist anymore. I cried. Ugly, chest-heaving sobs. The kind of crying you do when your body is trying to purge grief too big for your lungs. She let me sit in silence. That was the first kindness I'd felt in months. Months passed. The investigation closed. They found no concrete evidence to justify the claims against me, but they didn't exactly clear my name either. It was filed away quietly, like an unwanted file in a forgotten drawer. Chloe never faced consequences. In fact, her following doubled. She started doing healing content, posting morning routines, manifestation reels, selling digital courses on protecting your energy. Her caption one day: thriving after trauma, sparkling heart, remember, no one can take your light unless you let them. I wanted to scream, to claw at the screen, to rip the facade apart and show the world what she really was. But the world loves a beautiful lie more than an ugly truth. I thought about making a video of my own, telling my side. I wrote a script. I recorded it 10 times. But every time I watched it back, I saw what they'd see. An angry man. A bitter ex. A potential abuser. It didn't matter what I said. I didn't look like the victim. I wasn't allowed to be. So I deleted it and sat in silence. Again, the only thing that kept me grounded was journaling. Every night, I wrote down memories, real ones. Moments that proved I wasn't what she claimed I was. Like the time I held her hair back while she puked after a party. Or when I stayed up all night editing her resume. Or when she cried over her parents' divorce and I just held her, saying nothing because she didn't want words. I wasn't perfect. But I wasn't the monster she painted either. And I needed someone to remember that, even if it was just me. Then, one day, out of nowhere, I got a message. From Mia, a girl who used to be friends with Chloe. Someone I hadn't talked to in over a year. Mia DM. Hey, I know this is random, but I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I should have spoken up sooner. What she did to you wasn't okay. I stared at the screen for a long time. Me typing, hesitating. Why now? Mia. Because she's doing it again. To someone else. And I can't watch it happen twice. We met up. Mia came with screenshots, chats, voice notes, proof that Chloe had bragged about making me disappear, about how easy it was to flip the narrative. One message chilled me to the bone. Chloe, text to a friend. He was too emotional. I had to do something or he'd never leave. Besides, once you make a guy look crazy, no one listens to him anyway, lol. That was it. That was the whole truth in 1 sentence. I sent the evidence to the university. They didn't respond. I posted it online. It got taken down for targeted harassment. Because she reported it. I appealed. No answer. I was screaming into a vacuum. But I kept posting. Not to fight her anymore. But to find me again. I told my story. Unfiltered. Raw. No script. No edits. Just pain and honesty. And people listened. Not many at first. But enough. Some said they'd been through the same. Some said they believed me. Some just said, "Thank you." And those words, that tiny echo of truth, became my lifeline. I'm still healing. There are days I can't get out of bed. There are nights when her face still shows up in my dreams, smiling while I scream. But I've learned something. Being destroyed doesn't mean being erased. I exist. My truth exists. And maybe one day, the world will learn to see it. Because not every monster has fangs. Some wear lip gloss and post affirmations. And not every victim looks broken. Some are just really good at hiding it.